And you can pretty much do it
Soder and Mazz.
in perpetuity.
Yep. The Sports Hub.
Starting with Tier 3, again, what if? What if? So again, we're looking for access points, or access points, AXIS, where one of two things could have happened. So Tier 3, and by the way, one other rule. For the purposes of my list, I tried to do one from each team in each tier. You understand?
Sure.
So there's a hockey, basketball, baseball, and football in each tier. I did it that way to spread it out a little bit because, frankly, the Red Sox have had a million of these. And the Patriots probably have too. The other two sports are a little tougher. Anyway, what if Rollie Fingers and Joe Rudy had been consummated as members of the Red Sox? Do you remember this, Michael Hawley? 1976. Charles Finley of the Oakland A's decided to sell off his whole lot.
Right. Nut job.
Okay.
Exactly.
He traded Rollie Fingers and Joe Rudy both to the Red Sox for cash and Vita Blue to the Yankees.
And didn't Reggie Jackson go to the Orioles?
I think that was different.
Was that different?
I think you'd have to check.
Because I think that was right around that same era.
Okay, check it out. It might have been a player transaction, though. This was a straight cash buy.
But yeah, he was a mess.
And so those two guys actually had Red Sox uniforms on. Rollie Fingers was sitting in the bullpen. Joe Rudy was on the bench. They didn't play in that game, but Red Sox history would have changed dramatically if those two guys were here. What if David Tyree had dropped the ball against the Patriots and Giants? There were other incidents in that game that would qualify, and I say incidents, happenings in that game, but that's the one I think that stands out maybe most.
That's Tier 3?
That is Tier 3.
Tier 3, wow.
I'll tell you why. Tier 1, Murray.
Tough standard.
To be in Tier 1, you have to go back in history a little way, but listen again, you can question these. That's what the segment's about, Murray. What if the Bruins had not traded Ken Dryden to the Canadians? That goes back to 1964. So I said I went back to the 70s. I actually went back to the 60s. That's right. Ken Dryden was drafted by the Bruins. And what if the Celtics had gotten Tim Duncan in the lottery? What if they had won the lottery that year? That was the plan. That's why Rick Pitino came here. They ended up losing. I believe that was Antoine Walker and Ron Mercer.
No, it was Billups and Mercer.
Billups and Mercer.
Billups and Mercer.
Okay, Billups and Mercer.
And Mazz, they won 15 games that year. The Vancouver Grizzlies were 14-68. They were ineligible for the top pick. So the Celtics were effectively the worst team in the league. A team worse couldn't get the number one pick. And the Celtics had another lottery pick from the Mavericks. They should have won the lottery, and they didn't.
So they had the best odds by far.
They had the best odds probably of anybody in lottery history.
Okay, there you go. Okay, Tier 2. Again, the what-if tiers. Tier 2. Those forks in the road in Boston sports history. What if the tuck rule had been ruled a fumble? That's an easy one, too, is the tuck rule. Felger has said this many times, that the surprise was that they got the call right. That was the surprise. That could have easily been called a fumble, not because it was, but because technically it was an incomplete pass, but there was no guarantee the officials were going to get it right. What if the Alex Rodriguez trade had gone through and he had agreed to it and he had come to the Red Sox? That was between the 2003-2004 seasons.
Was it Manny and John Lester going to Texas? It was wasn't it A-Rod?
I think that is right.
And A-Rod and who's outfit? Was it Maglio Ordonez?
Jimmy, was Nomar part of that too?
He was.
Nomar
was going to the White Sox. It was Maglio Ordonez and Brandon McCarthy, a right-handed pitcher.
Very good, Jimmy. Good memory.
The other piece of that deal that people forget about, John Lester was going to Texas with Manny.
Okay, so there you go. John Lester would have been lost in that deal as well. What if the Bruins had kept Joe Thornton? What would have happened to them? And you know what, Jimmy? I meant to tell you this earlier. I was going to ask you.
They would have kept losing.
Oh, Mike O'Connell cut.
I was going to ask you to pull up some accompanying sound, so grab that O'Connell cut. We'll play it later. But again, what if Joe Thornton had remained with the Bruins? And the last one on that list, what if, many people forget this one, this is one of the great draft what-ifs. The Celtics took Kelly Olynyk with, I think, the 13th pick in the draft.
They traded up to get Kelly Olynyk.
13th overall.
From 16 to 13, I think it was.
Giannis went 15th.
Oh, man.
What if the Celtics had drafted Giannis Antetokounmpo instead of Kelly Olynyk?
They'd be
What
trying
people
to.
forget about that is Giannis at the time was like 6'5", 6'6".
Okay, so that's right. He grew exponentially after being drafted.
If they had done it, they'd be trying to trade him right now, too, just like the Bucks are.
All right, tier one to me is,
Doc Rivers probably would have enabled him too.
Tier one to me is sort of a unique level in Boston sports. I'll try to go through these quickly. We'll take your calls and suggestions. Len Bias. What if Len Bias had ended up having a long career with the Celtics? How that might have altered Celtics history. Obviously, died of a drug overdose within a couple of days of the draft. Might have been the next morning. I'd have to go back and check the actual calendar.
Sure.
But I think it was the next morning.
It was.
They drafted him at night, and the next morning
Dead. Yep.
he had died of a drug overdose. What if Dave Roberts had been thrown out? Game 4 of the 2004 American League Championship Series. Something to consider. What if Pete Carroll had run the ball at the goal line instead of passing and the Malcolm Butler interception? What if he had just given it to Marshawn Lynch? And what if too many men on the ice had not happened in 1979? The Bruins on the verge of beating the Canadiens was one of the defining moments in Bruins history. Montreal went on to win the Stanley Cup. The Bruins, obviously, that was the semifinals, but probably one of the great Bruins meltdowns or failures in team history.
We also had too many men on the ice when they played the Blues.
Correct.
Yeah, what if
In Game
Marchand
7,
if Marchand hadn't left the ice early in 2019? Is what I would make
2019.
a vote for. I'll come off as ageist. I don't care. But I would have put a 40-year cap on this because some of this, I'm like, I don't even know what these. Raleigh fingers? Too many men on the ice?
Listen, that's going back to the 70s, Murray, but that was a big one. They were in uniform.
This is BJ before Jim.
Okay, they were in uniform. And again, people your age won't remember it. I barely remembered. I was like, 8, 9 years old at the time, but it was a big moment.
So does it change? So go to 78. You don't have Bucky freaking Dent if you have Raleigh fingers available. At that time, you have those closers. They didn't just go give you 3 outs. Sometimes they gave you 9. So you have Raleigh fingers in the game instead of whoever was in there.
That was Mike Torres at the time because he was a starter. But yeah, sure, you could say that. Yeah, they had Raleigh fingers. He might have pitched
I'm saying,
three innings.
was it big enough where it would have changed Red Sox history, or is it one of those quirky, cool things? See, that's the one tier. I'm like, I don't know. That one I'm going to move out of there.
Okay, well, it was again. I tried to pick one from every sport and every tier. But if it's not big enough to be in your top 12, Michael, so be it.
Not big enough.
Okay, Murray, anything else you want to bitch about?
Oh, but I mean, there's glaring omissions, but again, they're not my tiers.
There's one obvious one that's not on this list.
But I don't know if this is it.
What sport?
Baseball.
Oh, see, I was going to say for basketball. What if Kevin Garnett didn't get hurt in 2009? Did the Celtics repeat?
Okay, so I left that one out because he had kind of been hurt all season, right?
No.
Late in the year, his knee acted up.
But they got off to they were better.
28-3 to start the season.
They were better in 2009 than they were in 2008. They were better. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. He gets hurt in Utah. And tell me if this sounds familiar. The Celtics kind of minimized the injury.
No. Oh, come on.
They got to minimize. Yeah, it's no big deal. No big deal.
Oh, Michael, you're about to get called out on Instagram by somebody.
That's all right. We don't see them for the rest of the season. They lose to Orlando. And Orlando goes to the NBA Finals instead of the Celtics to get drubbed by the Lakers.
So I will say.
Oh, I know the baseball one you mean.
Hold on. I generally left injuries off this list.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I generally left injuries off this list because, you start doing that, you open it up to every injury of, what if Jim Rice hadn't been hit by a fastball and broke his wrist in 1975? What if Larry Bird hadn't gotten into the bar fight? And, you could start playing that game with injuries.
Can I say the baseball?
What if Jason Tatum hadn't? Go ahead, yeah.
Grady, take him out.
Was not. I thought about it. I left it off because I knew someone would raise it. Murray, go.
It's the ball going through Dopey Buckner's legs.
Exactly. And why did I leave it off?
I don't know.
The game was already tied.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
The game was already tied. That decided the game. But if you grew up in that area, the Red Sox would have lost anyway.
Oh, without question. Yeah.
That's a given. So
also, we forget that there was a game 7.
There's a game 7. And a rainout, too. Wasn't there a rainout?
Yeah, there was a rainout in between.
So they had a little bit more time to process.
To stew on their misery and failure.
And by the
I
way,
believe they had a 3-0 lead in like
Jimmy.
the fifth inning of Game 7.
They did. They had a 3-0 lead in the middle of Game 7. People forget that. And then, naturally, the Red Sox did what they do, which
imploded.
is to crap their pants.
That wasn't even a close game, right?
6-3.
Oh, was it 6-3? I just remember it being
I'd have to look up the
more
final
lopsided.
score. Yeah, Strawberry hit a home run late. The Red Sox were pissed about it because he milked it around the bases. I thought, is that really
Don't
what you're
give up
mad
the
about?
home run then.
Or are you really mad just because you choked and blew the World
Right.
Series? So anyway, people are lined up. No surprise here.
Excellent. Calls the rest of the way.
Okay, so let's go to Jeff in Norwood with the what if. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm finishing my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm sorry. So Willie Mays in 1950, the Red Sox had a chance to purchase his contract. They had a deal already reached, and Tom Yawkey squashed it. Gee, I wonder what would have happened to the Red Sox if Willie Mays ended up being a member of this organization.
Okay, so again, I didn't go back that far. Like, this is sort of where I'm with Murray. We're going to go back to Babe Ruth, too. I think it's pretty clear what would have happened if the Red Sox had kept Babe Ruth. They would have won more championships than the Yankees.
Since they'd already won with Babe Ruth, so the winning would continue.
So, again, I'm looking for ones that were more about events on the field or unusual happenings. Like in the case of Len Bias, they had the player.
Yeah.
They were the best team in the league, maybe the best team in history, and they had the number 2 pick in the draft because of a trade they made.
Gerald Henderson.
Yes.
Traded Gerald
with
Henderson
Seattle.
to the Sonics.
Yes, and got the
they got the second pick in the draft.
Correct.
And they get the best player in the draft. Like, Len Bias was remarkable. He was an unbelievable college player. And he played against Jordan and did well. Same conference, ACC. But like Jordan, if you go back and look at Len Bias, because you go back and look at some of the players in the 80s, Mazz, and you're like, hey, did y'all have weights? Did you ever lift weights? They were available to you. Most guys looked like they had never picked up a weight. But Jordan and Len Bias looked like they were from the future. Bias was unreal, Mazz. 6'8", athletic, had a J, could drive, powerful rebounder. It would have been... I'll tell you what would have happened. It would have extended the Celtics window significantly.
No question. And, it's funny you said that because when people have said to me, who would you compare Len Bias to? And I said, well, this is going to sound ridiculous, but Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, that was the talk at the time, right?
He
Yeah.
was great. He was bigger.
He was unreal.
Now, Jordan had that edge, but he was that kind of guy. So, I mean, that is like the ultimate what if to me is a Len Bias. We'll squeeze in one more. We'll get others in after the break. Brian's in Plymouth. Go ahead, Brian. This is an obvious one. Go ahead.
Yeah, great topic. But I know you said you were staying away from injuries, but what if Bledsoe doesn't get injured? Do they know what they have with Brady, or are they going to trade him away?
Okay, interesting question. Let me ask Michael Hawley this because I know what Felger's stance on this is. So, Michael, go ahead.
It wouldn't have changed anything. It would have forwarded what they were already thinking. That year, so Brady goes into the year 2001 training camp as the 4th quarterback. Remember, they signed Bledsoe to a big contract, and they brought in, I think John
Freeze.
They had John Freeze and Heward. I think basically they had Heward and I think it was Heward and Freeze. So he comes in as a 4th quarterback. He has a great training camp, goes up to 2nd on the depth chart. And before the season starts, Belichick, in a coaches meeting, says to his coaches, I think Tom Brady's our best quarterback. And before the season.
They would have went to him
So,
eventually.
yeah, no question.
They definitely would have.
If Bledsoe...
It was going that way.
Yeah.
If Bledsoe hadn't gotten hurt, he was about to get benched. Worst game before in the game he got hurt. Before he got hurt, he was terrible against the Jets. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen Drew Bledsoe play. So he would have been benched.
And by the way, Belichick told this story recently, effectively what you just told. He told it recently on his media.
Oh, did he?
circuit.
On the media tour?
Yeah, he did. He was talking about how Brady was the 4th quarterback going into camp that year. So again, this is why I didn't include it on the list because I think that one would have happened anyway. And I trust the people who covered the team at the time. You were there, Felger was there, and you all say the same thing. Brady was coming.
Brady was the guy.
He was coming for Bledsoe's job, and everybody knew it.
Brady was coming for the job. Brady, as a 4th rounder, a couple of weeks into training camp, told one of his roommates, a guy named Dave Heitzman, played at, I think it was Dave Heitzman or Chris Heitzman, played at Harvard. Anyway, tight end, big guy. He told him, I'm going to take Bledsoe's job. He was a fourth quarterback, but he was determined. He'd say, Eitzman, come on, let's get some more reps. I'm going to take his job. So it was inevitable.
Yeah, Brady was not going to be denied. I mean, I think looking back, I think we can all say that now. So anyway, we'll get more of your calls. We'll continue with some of this stuff as well. So don't go anywhere. We're coming right back on Felger Mazz.
Whee! Goalie fight.
Felger.
Whee! Look at the goalie fight.
Oh,
Mazz.
oh my God.
Murray.
He sucks in the playoffs.
That's great. No.
98.5.
Wonderful. Good.
The Sports Hub.
The 2-2. Line drive caught, and that's the ball game. Connor Falefa on a wicked liner, but the Red Sox win this one in a bit of a laugher, 8-0, as they shut out the Atlanta Braves at Fenway.
Well, you needed it. I mean, you needed it. Get a W here at Fenway Park. It's been really hard to do. Obviously, we set the tone with Conley early, 7 scoreless, fantastic outing, and the offense woke up, led by that man, Jarren Duran, 4 hits and a home run. But overall, really nice game and an opportunity to set up a great pitching matchup in Tolle and Sale for this series.
You heard Lou Merlone say there, Sale and Tolle in the finale. Red Sox win last night. They beat the Braves. The series is a split right now. Obviously, the finale will be played today. Let me just ask you guys quickly a question about the Red Sox. We'll get back to everyone's calls on tiers and go from there. But I do want to hit on the game last night. Because last night on the Baseball Hour, I said I was as I am as more hopeless. I am hopeless as much as I have ever been with the Red Sox right now, given the state of the organization.
Ever been.
I look at them and I think they are headed towards basically starting over. And they've already changed GMs twice with the idea of trying to rebuild the organization. And I fear that they've effed it up and now they're going to start over again. They're going to have to do it with another executive. There's a work stoppage on the horizon. They can't hit. Then they go out and get 8 runs last night, which we'll get to in a minute. But if I were to ask you, what's the biggest thing they can take away from that game last night? In other words, did you look at it and say, well, look at that. They're starting to hit. They've been hitting for a week now. What did you take out of the game? Anything tangible that they can take out of that game?
Yeah, Jarren Duran's trade value continues to peak, and he's really not going to be anything more than he's ever been. So let him continue to get hot, raise that trade value, and ship his ass out of here. That's my biggest takeaway.
Good one, Murray. Somebody called on Tuesday and said, hey, what's the trade value of Jarren Duran? At that point, I said, well, it's not much. He's got to get up to about, what did I say, 230, 235? Well, he's on a torrid streak. His power. What's he got, like 7 or 8 home runs in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah,
he's got
up to 8.
He's got 8 on the season, but 7 of them have come, in a couple in the Kansas City series and one last night, So, yeah, the trade value, and that's what I would look at it. I'd say, don't fall for it. It's trade value. I'd move them. But the other thing that stands out to me, okay, this is a positive. They've got a couple of pitching stars. They can pitch against good competition. Conley early last night, very good. Tolle today, I like him. Got a little moxie, got a little swag. So what I do like about him is they can pitch starting pitching. They got some starting pitchers who can hold their own against good competition.
So, Murray, you're not wrong to bring up Duran. It's a good one. For me, it's early. Connolly early. That's a big boy team on the other side.
Yep.
Those guys can hit. Atlanta's got maybe the best lineup in baseball, or second best if you think the Dodgers are better, whatever. But they're one of the 2 best lineups in baseball. And so I was especially down on the Red Sox yesterday, and I still am. But if you wanted to look at them and say, no, they actually have there's a couple of pieces there that can help them. Connolly Early's one of them. He's 5-2 with a 2.95 ERA, 5-2 on a suck team. The guy's a rookie. He's a rookie. He barely came up at the end of last year. They had to pitch him in the playoffs right away. I think everybody was a little worried that put him in Yankee Stadium was going to be a challenging thing, and it was. But, man, he has not skipped a beat.
Yeah, he's got it.
So now, look,
he's got something.
They're 2 different things, right? But it's just worth comparing. Christian Campbell fell apart. They sent him back to the minor leagues. He still hasn't recovered. He may never recover. I don't think the kid's going to make it. I think it's over.
Really? Already?
I do. I think Christian Campbell's cashed. I think it's over. I don't think he's ever going to play a game for the Red Sox in the big leagues again. Now, someone else might pick him up in a trade. He ends up in a small market. Maybe that works. Ain't going to happen here. I think they destroyed the kid. Connolly early kind of got knocked around a little bit at Yankee Stadium. I don't want to say get his brains beat in, but he didn't get out of the third or fourth inning maybe. And it was a low-scoring game, but Cora got him out of there fast, protected him a little bit. Kid came into camp this year, and I thought, well, let's see how he responds. He's been dynamite. And not only that, he's getting better. He went 7 last night. He went deeper into that game. Like, that is a tangible thing that you can sink your teeth into. That kid can pitch. He's not afraid. He's got a good delivery. There's poise there. The only thing that gives me a little bit of cause, or a cause for concern, or pause, I should say, the only thing that makes me hesitate at all is that it's an easy year to pitch in baseball. The overall batting average in the sport's around 240.
Yeah, it's an easy year to pitch in baseball, but not against the Atlanta Braves.
So there's that. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, really, really good team. And when did you start to say, Mazz, watching that game last night? Okay, the Red Sox aren't going to do anything stupid. The Red Sox aren't going to screw it up. Like they have the 6-run inning, and you're like, all right, let's see if they can hold this together. But by the 5th or 6th inning, you could tell he had command.
He did.
Of what he was doing. It was confidence in what he was doing. The Braves really, because we know what they kept saying it on the broadcast. This is the kind of team that a 3-run deficit, 5-run deficit, unlike the Red Sox, a 3-run deficit for the Braves is not lights out. They can come back against you. They were trying. They had nothing for them.
So it
impressive.
Was, to be honest with you, I still at the end thought this game's not over yet, because the Red Sox find ways to lose. It was not when Early was out of the game, I thought, well, let's see what happens now, because I thought he was terrific. But the team, I still think the team blows.
Yeah.
And the offense last night, the eruption for the 8 runs, I'm not sold. And I'll tell you why when we come back. Murray's got your headlines.
Sean and Lawrence. Go, Sean.
You keep saying, like, oh, I didn't actually watch the game, whether it's Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, whatever. Like, isn't your job as a talk show host to actually watch sports?
So I would say my job is to get you to listen.
That is the job.
Mission accomplished.
Take this job and shove. Felger and Mazz. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Red Sox with runners at first and second, nobody out in a 0-0 game. And Sogard, who singled his first time up, just tried to put down a bunt. He'll square again. He gets this one down at third. Riley up and over and gets him at first base, but that'll advance Yoshida down to third. Gasper into second on sacrifice. And Meyer will step in. Marcelo 0 for 1. He's flied to right. Ground ball to first and misplayed by Olsen. A run is in. Masataka will score. Rumbling into third, Mickey Gasper. Meyer hit it right at Olsen. Braves have played some very shoddy defense tonight. And the Sox are on the board 1-0. Connor Falefa swinging away, and he rips a line drive base hit into left. Another run scores. Gasper touching home plate. Connor Falefa swinging it. Red Sox lead it 2-0. Cedar Rafaela 2 for 2 tonight. He's up next. A shattered bat, blooper over short. That dumps down for a hit. Meyer will be held at third, and the bases are going to be loaded. Sox have 8 hits.
Yeah, they're not sharp. Sox doing a really nice job after a nice adjustment after facing him the last time out. And how he wants to attack. He's been really good at bats, good contact.
And every base, that's ripped into left field. In to score Meyer. Here comes Connor Falefa. The throw home. He slides. He's going to get in. And the runners move up as it gets away. 4-0 Boston. So it's Rafaela at second and Duran leading from third, and a 2-2. Line drive, base hit. Another run is in. Cedar coming around as well. He will score. That gets 2. Wilyer Abreu with RBIs 21 and 22 to make it 6-0 Sox.
They get 8 runs in the game. They win 8-0. They had 14 singles until Jaron Duran homered. later in the game to break that string. And I know, Michael, you saw that, or you heard that in real time, where they were talking about the most singles the Red Sox have ever had in a game. The offense has been a little bit better in the last week. Do you think they've turned a corner?
No.
Well, a little bit. A little.
This team sucks.
Yeah, the team does suck. But have they turned a corner? I mean, if you look at Jarren Duran, we talked about earlier, Jarren Duran giving you a little bit of pop at the top of the lineup and looking like a decent player. Okay, that's turning a corner. They have now. Have they turned a corner into contention? No, but have they turned a corner from where they were? Yeah, they had 3 guys under 200. So yeah, Duran under 200. Yeah, Durbin, he got him out of there. That's turning a corner. That's a good decision. And Trevor Story, once again, injuries get him out, but I think they're better than they were a couple of weeks ago, but I still don't think it's good enough.
So, look, I asked that question in a very vague manner on purpose. The next time the Red Sox put together a 6-run rally with 5 singles, a sacrifice bunt, and 2 walks, let me know. I think they had a horseshoe up their ass. Like, that is one of those rallies. You know, if you told me they had a 6-run rally where they hit a grand slam, I would say, well, that can happen again.
Or just an extra base hit in general.
Exactly. Yeah. So all those singles, I don't think they can get 5 hits in a row the rest of the season. I bet on it, in fact. I think they got no shot of doing that again. So now
take
look,
that action.
Now look at exactly.
But
now
do you think they've turned a corner?
No, God, no.
You don't think they've turned? Not even a little bit. I'm saying
they're playing a little better.
A subtle turn where you have some guys. You're like, okay, I can see what his role is. I can see what they're trying to do here. Like, I think they turned a corner with. I think they have an idea of who they want to play, like who their core guys are. Now, you may not like their core guys, like Kalefa. I'm like, I can't believe that's one of their guys.
So that's true. They're starting to pare down their personnel a little bit. I think that part is true, Michael. But I'll tell you, you know what the most important thing in that inning was, if you ask me? The bunt. The sacrifice bunt. They've been avoiding. They were playing for 2 runs, and they ended up getting 6 because the Braves were, playing their defense with their feet, for crying out loud, instead of their hands. But to me, it was the bunt. If the Red Sox want to play that way and actually say, you know what, we're going to take the 1 or 2 when we can get them because we think we can pitch and play defense, I'm in. At this stage, that's what I would. That's the way I would play it. They're not going to hit home runs. They don't have the power. They don't have the talent. They don't have the hitters. So the idea that they ended up getting all these hits, great. I mean, it happened. Would I rely on it to happen again? No way. Not in a million years. They can't hit that well. They don't have enough good hitters to put together that kind of rally. The bunt, I liked. I thought, well, look at this.
Well, and that's what I want to ask you. Do you think we'll see more of that?
Yes, I hope.
Because that's the only way it makes sense for the Red Sox.
Absolutely. And so this is
we talked about the other day. You look at Tampa and you look at Milwaukee. They're way down there in home runs, but Tampa is leading the AL East by a significant margin. And the reason they are, they got a little bit of a losing streak lately, but the reason they are is because they know who they are. So maybe the Red Sox will take a page from the Rays and from the Brewers and say, hey, we need to do it this way.
Yes. So that's their one hope, if you ask me. Light dawns over Marblehead. The geniuses over there that are trying to get Caleb Durbin and Kiner Falefa and Sogard to hit home runs. Someone finally looked up and said, what are we doing? Bunt the guys to second and third and see if we can get a sac fly. If we get one out of it with the lead, Early's pitching well. Let's see if we can squeeze out a 3-2 win. Something like that.
Yeah, play baseball instead of drive-line baseball.
Exactly.
But I don't think they can help themselves.
No, they can't.
I don't think that's going to continue.
They can't. So anyway, I just want to get that off my chest. Red Sox are coming up shortly in terms of the game. So if you want to get your Red Sox calls, get them in now. We've taken a number of calls on different things already. What if is obviously, as usual, Mazz's tears are generating a lot of calls, so we'll get to those as well. Ron in Medford has been on the line for quite a while, wanting to get into Diana Rossini and the Mike Vrabel thing. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, how you doing, fellas? The one, when people talk about whether this has gone away, I mean, she hasn't spoken publicly. So, I mean, if she's been paid off because maybe journalistically now she's in a pause and can't make the money she was making, or she's decided to just not talk about it to save her marriage, that would be great. But the fact she's been silent terrifies me, that she's not going to come out with a book. I mean, publishing companies would be lined up down the street to give her an advance on a book. And imagine if it comes out mid-season and all of the things that maybe he didn't tell his family and his wife that he left out, she exposes. I mean, this could really be a bad thing down the road. It's just her silence scares the crap out of me for them going forward. But one last thing, and Big Jim, that too many men on the ice, that was the best out of any one of your tiers. That was my prom night. They were up 3-1, then 4-3, and too many men on the ice gets called in a Game 7 with a couple of minutes left, in what would have been historic, because the Canadians are so much better talent-wise, they shouldn't even been on the same ice with them, and they almost took it.
Well, the Bruins effed you, and I hope your prom date did too, Ron.
Yeah, preferably in the back of a limo. Should it scare people that Rossini hasn't been heard from?
Well, sure, it should, but
because you don't know what's coming.
But along those lines of the same tenor, what you guys are bringing up, one thing you don't have to worry about, Ron, and Mazz can attest to this. You don't have to worry about a book coming out during the season, because that would be a quickie book, and that book is not gonna. I mean, you just can't do that.
Gotcha.
Right?
Quickie.
Right?
Very good, Michael.
You like
Very
that?
Good. Yep.
You like that?
Good.
But really, where are we at? We're at June. Pretty much at June. There's no way, even if she's got explosive stuff, that's not going to come out in September or October.
Okay, Justin and Malden on Mazz's Tears, who he's going to offer up one that I was sure we were going to get at some point. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, what if Belichick didn't bench Butler in the Super Bowl? I will go to my grave saying they would have won that game if he had started, or even just played.
Okay, Murray, would they have won the game if Malcolm Butler had played?
Odds are, because who'd you have out there in his place? Someone like Johnson Batamosi?
Batamosi, very good.
Yeah, so I have to think that Malcolm Butler, while he dipped a little bit that season, he would have made a play that Johnson Batamosi certainly did.
Batamosi, they had Jordan. Wasn't Richards out there, too?
Yeah, that's right. Jordan Richards and another one, too.
Jordan Richards.
While Nelson Aguilar and others are running free. Like, that was just ridiculous. I have to believe that if Butler plays, he at least makes a play to make a stop.
Here's one that I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but Sam in the car, what if what?
This question is actually for Matt, because I know you were around at that time. What if Manny was just Manny in 2008 and didn't decide to attack the traveling secretary? How would he have done that year, and what do you think would have happened?
Okay, so again, Manny Ramirez was traded that year. Jason Bay came in. Red Sox got to the American League Championship Series and then lost to Tampa Bay in Game 7. So what I would tell you is that time was running out on Manny. That was going to end one way or the other.
Yeah.
They were done with Manny at that point. And they said, we're getting out of town. That's it. We're done. See you later. And they liked Jason Bay. They kept him for one more year after that. Manny's contract was up at the end of 2008. They were going to lose him anyway, so they got one more year out of Bay. Bay had a pretty good year from him, but he obviously wasn't the same hitter.
Dude, I'm going to go with the caller on that one. Manny left Boston. He must have slugged something like 730. It was ridiculous with the Dodgers what he did in a short span with the Dodgers. So the tricky thing is what you said, Mazz. Can you get that out of Manny here? So they had already done that a few times of, all right, Manny, we'll live with you. You don't know which hamstring is hurt. Okay, how many more grandmothers do you have who have died at the beginning of spring training? We got all the excuses, but then you kind of suffer through it so you can get the best of Manny. Could they have done that one more time? Because if they had, I don't know if they would have won the World Series. I think did Philly win it that year, 2008?
I believe that's right.
Over the Rays?
That's right. Philly won that year.
All right, so yeah, they would have won it. Because if they get by the Rays, I think they beat Philly.
I mean, look, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Michael, when they made that trade, I remember asking people, I immediately walked over to the manager's office, and they were sitting in there, and I said, why are you guys doing this? What the hell's wrong with you?
They had enough.
You put up with them for 7.5 years. You can't put up with them for another half season?
Right.
And they said it was time. So, yeah, your point is legit. Quickly, one more. Joe and Revere. Jimmy, can we punch him up on line 2? He's got a football topic he wants to get to. Joe, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Blessings and Jesus loves you. I have 2 tiers and a football question. Has anybody heard about Gabe Yakus? And also there's this big lineman who it made Will Campbell look small. Is Demetrius Crownover.
Right.
And my tears are, in the 86 World Series, John McNamara all year substituted Dave Stapleton for Bill Buckner for defensive purposes.
Good one.
In the World Series, Orozco was on the mound. He had Don Baylor on the bench, and he brings up Buckner and the ball, and he doesn't bring in Stapleton. And also in the 08 Super Bowl, the Super Bowl where they were undefeated, do you remember the Patriots had 4th and 9 or 4th and 13?
Yep.
They went for
it. Going for the field goal,
they went for it. Yep.
48-yard. It would have been a 48-yarder, right?
Those are good ones.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
The Buckner thing for Stapleton, the defensive replacement thing, a lot of people forget. Stapleton had John McNamara said after the game he wanted Buckner to be on the field when they won the World Series. That's what his answer was.
That's a bad. Now you want to talk about a bad answer? That's a bad answer. Was it Game 6? Correct me if I'm wrong, Mazz. Was it Game 6 where Clemens? There's a dispute. He says he wants to stay. He wanted to stay in the game, and McNamara took him out.
Yes, another one. If he had left Clemens in the game,
if you leave Clemens in that game,
correct.
And what a season! What a season for Clemens in '86.
Unbelievable.
I mean, like think about it. All,
that was the one that launched his career.
Yeah, I mean, think about what you had in that series. You have Doc Gooden for them, and you've got Clemens. Going back, like both of those guys, some of the best seasons we've ever seen in history.
One
of
of the great World Series of all time, really. It was,
and they were both great. And the Red Sox won. I think the Red Sox won more games than the Mets that year. Is that right?
No, the Mets won more games.
So the Mets were a super team that the Red Sox had on because the Mets won like what was it? They won over 100, I think.
Yeah, no, they did. They won like 104 games, or 102 games, something like that. The Mets were loaded. There were a lot of Hall of Fame caliber talents in that series. Again, Clemens, Jim Rice, Wade Boggs. Dwight Evans didn't make it, but a lot of people thought he should be in. Darryl Strawberry. Again, all these guys aren't in, but elite talent.
And they had some guys who weren't quite what they were going to be in '86 because they had Dykstra on that team.
Kevin Mitchell,
what a hitter he was.
Jesse Orozco, I think, has pitched in more games than anybody in big. It was a good series. It was a really good World Series. We'll continue with your calls. We will also get to a little more on the Red Sox before the game starts, as well as the happenings between the Carolina Panthers and the Canadians. Complete shutdown. The Canadians set a record last night. Did you know? We'll tell you what it is when we come back on Felger and Mazz.
Felger.
Shush.
Mazz. The Sports Hub.
Swing and a miss. All sorts of change-ups to get him. And strike out Kim. 2 fast outs in the 7th. 92 pitches for the young lefty.
This changeup's not really close in the zone, but he gets the free swing of Kim. Nice job by Mickey, just keeping that glove big and just blocking it, not trying to just catch it. Just keep that thing big. We've seen all the Red Sox catchers do that.
Trying to put away Acuna. And a shot to right. Abreu's there, though, backing up to make the play. Side retired. Nothing comes of the double. Connolly early. 2-7.
As for some of the other young players, sounds like Roman Anthony's starting to get pissed off. So this courtesy of Rob Bradford's Twitter account. Roman Anthony on exactly what he's dealing with as far as his injury is concerned. Quote, and listen to every word here if you can. Quote from Roman Anthony. I don't know if it's made clear, but it's a partially torn ring finger ligament. My ring finger CMC, parentheses, carpometacarpal, to be exact. End quote. I'm going to read it again. I don't know if it's made clear, but it's a partially torn ring finger ligament. My ring finger CMC, to be exact. So he tells you he has a partial tear, names the ligament. Jimmy, when was it that Sam Kennedy made his comments? May 22nd? That was a week ago?
May 22nd, sir.
Okay.
Jimmy couldn't jump to the mic fast enough for that, huh? That
May
was funny.
22nd, and today is May 28th, so almost a week ago.
Michael, you want to read the comment that Sam Kennedy made on the 22nd?
May 22nd. So Sam Kennedy says, from what I understand, He's got a sprain in the ligament at the base of the ring finger. There's no evidence of the tear. Say it again. There's no evidence of the tear.
If you tell the truth, your problem becomes part of your past. If you lie, it becomes part of your future.
Rick, you're so right. The imaging is negative. There's been a second opinion to confirm that, but hand injuries are really tough for baseball players, end quote.
If you tell the truth, your problem becomes part of your past. Now, if you lie, it becomes part of your future.
Now, my good friend Jaron Duran, I still don't know why he had a problem with me saying that teams lie about injuries. I said before, sometimes I understand why they do it. Sometimes. In this case, I don't know what the hell Sam Kennedy's doing. What are you thinking, Sammy? This doesn't help Roman Anthony. Even if Roman Anthony thinks that he's got a tear in his ring finger, and he doesn't, but I think he does. If he thinks that, and you know that he thinks that, you say things to support the player and protect the player. Don't go against him. Don't contradict what he's saying. How does this help the Red Sox? How does this help Roman Anthony? I don't get it.
It doesn't. And so what they've done now is the guy that is the face of their franchise has become the face of their franchise by default. The star player that they've pinned this whole thing around, he's less than a year into his big league career, and they've already pissed him off. So that's what this is. Now, Michael, let me just give you my...
And he thinks they're messing with them.
Tell you what, let me do this.
He thinks they're messing with them.
Yeah, he does think they're messing with him. He does. The part of that comment, I don't know if it's made clear, meaning if it's been made clear. Now, I don't know if Bradford mistyped there and left a word out, or if Anthony just didn't say if it's been made clear. But whatever, that's what was, on X. I don't know if it's made clear, but it's a partially torn ring finger ligament, my ring finger CMC to be exact. So he said, yes, I have a tear. This is the ligament that it happened to, and I don't know if anybody's actually told you that. Okay, so that is an FU to the team. Screw you guys. You're making me look like a wuss. Everybody thinks I don't want to play through this now. And I will just tell you, in my experience, sprains by definition are partial tears. So they're calling it a sprain. He's calling it a tear. But the point is, in his head, it's more severe than they're letting on. So independent of what the semantics are, he's looking at them and saying, you guys effed me on this.
Yeah, why aren't you protecting me? Why aren't you protecting me?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, tell people about this.
So it's not about who's describing the injury right.
Yeah.
It's about the fact that Roman Anthony feels like they don't have his back.
Yeah, if the team is trying to do this in a way to almost try to protect him because it's been an awful season, people are down on them, this is the face of the team, whether he likes it or not, and they're just trying to downplay it because maybe he'll eventually come back. And don't worry, just don't look here, it's not that bad. It still makes him look like a wuss, which has now in turn pissed him off, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and you know what, Murray? The Chad Tracy comments last week, if you remember, when this all happened, Chad Tracy's comment was something like, Jimmy probably has it in the system, but the comment was something to the effect of, we're not going to push him right now. When he's ready, we're going to let him get ready, and then we're going to push him. As if to say, we think he can play. At least that's how it came off. We think he can play, but in his head, he's not there yet. We're going to work with him on it. And so it felt to me like Tracy recognized that the player was irritated and was trying to take a more tactful path. Jimmy, you got it?
Yeah, he saw the specialist. As of right now, it looks like just a wrist sprain. Outside of that, no update other than to say right now, day to day. Like there's nothing imminent as far as an IL, but day to day, and we'll keep assessing him over the next couple of days to see how he's feeling.
Feel like you guys dodged the bullet with that one almost?
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, even with the sprain, it's really still going to be reactive on how is it feeling and how is it progressing. That's good news, but we still have to see how he feels over the next couple of days.
Okay, so Jimmy, I think that's with Jemai Webster. There was one that he said in the media conference that was more descriptive, but we can play it when we come back too. But I'm pretty sure Tracy said we're not going to push him up. We'll find the exact comment for you. Top of the hour, no commercials. Murray will get you caught up. Again, the Red Sox will start in about 10 or 15 minutes, so we'll continue with your calls on them. We'll continue on your calls with the what if, which were Mazz's tears this week. You can talk about Mike Vrabel if you want. We'll also get to the Canadians and the Carolina Hurricanes, the results last night. Again, Montreal set a record, in case you haven't seen this, a record of futility that, frankly, I've never seen before, and I guess there's a reason, because it's never been done. We'll tell you what that was when we come back.